CEO Ken Maslow is driven by his own painful experience. In 1994, his 18-year-old son Michael was shot dead during an armed robbery at a Sydney Pizza Hut. Since then, Ken's organisation has worked with victims and offenders in schools, juvenile detention centres and prisons, trying to better understand what drives them and what can be done to break the cycle.
And I think the way we're going to do that is to plant seeds with young people that will actually see positive outcomes.
Victims of violence like 18-year-old Tomasa Wanlam also share their experiences to encourage others to say enough is enough. She endured a year of beatings and sexual assault from an older boyfriend.
He told me that he would kill me if I left.
With the help of family and police, Tomasa realised she deserved better.
I was in his house and I was screaming for help and no one came. Like, his family were in there and no one came to help me, and I think that was the lowest point where I realised I really had no one.
With so much violence stemming from bullying in the schoolyard, workplace and home, it's hoped that targeting young people will change the way the next generation treat each other and themselves. But it's a huge task, one that Enough is Enough is determined to take on. It's developing an anti-bullying program to help stop the spiral of violence.
You have to change the attitudes of the generations before so that they keep bringing children up that have a no bullying attitude and just generally are more accepting and respectful of their peers.
Back then I was a girl, today I'm a woman, and I don't want this to happen to another girl out there.
I think we can make a difference. Whether we can do everything that I imagine I would like to do, I don't know, but it's certainly going to not stop me from trying.
Amelia Adams, 10 News.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this milestone two-day event, the Positive Solutions in an Age of Rage conference.
The idea of this seminar is to actually get people to have an understanding of around what bullying is. There'll always be bullies, but I think by making people aware of the impact of bullying, we can reduce the negative impact of it.
What I have seen in my life as a barrister practicing in the criminal courts in New South Wales, as a judge sitting in New South Wales's highest courts, including the Court of Criminal Appeal, and what I see every day has made me aware of the terrible difficulties society has and people generally have in coping with the rage, with the bullying, with the strategies those often with deficits employ to try to achieve their own way in the world. Rage and bullying are not acceptable strategies.
I've always been a person to take risks in your life. I think that's so important. I never ever want to look back and wish that I had given something a go but was too afraid to do it. I believe that life is far too short and it's far too precious to have regrets.
I've had bullying at different areas of life from different nationalities, from different backgrounds, and I don't think we can ever pinpoint to any particular background to say they're worse than this and that. I think it's just a problem throughout our society. It was my size when I was younger that actually caused me a lot of grief, but more than that, I got called, names and, pretty hurtful names, and, words can really penetrate the soul.
We know that kids who are bullies, they reach their peak in the early part of high school, years probably 7, 8, 9, and we're not teaching them to be acting and interacting in appropriate ways with the community.
Well, I think most people are educated by the media. The media has a far more responsible role to play rather than just sensationalising, rather than delivering bad news all the time, which is what I see constantly. I'm talking to you today because I think it's one of the things that we really need to do is to build into kids. And I'm talking about from a very early age that even if something bad happens to you, and God, we hope it doesn't, that there is a learning experience within that. And when I come to talk about values, I'll show you just how thinking Well, I think it was Shakespeare that summed things up when he said, there is no good or evil in the world. It is just thinking that makes it so. We don't have to accept the violence that we have in society today. We've heard it a lot of times with these speakers. They have turned pain into power. And I hope that people can understand that they can do something to help create this non-violent world that we all want to live in. We have to think that we can change things. And I do believe we can. We can turn tragedy into triumph. And that's the sort of message I want to get out there.